This is Gaming Face Punch.
So let's talk about Crackdown. So, Crackdown, I'm not sure Nigel was aware of this, but Crackdown was an exclusive title from one of the creators of Grand Theft Auto that was on the original 360? The original 360, yeah, the Blaze version of 360. And they made it, and it was okay. I played it, yeah, I was completely honest with you, I didn't like it. Yeah, it was one of the first games I got with my 360, and I was like, people like this is boring. There are better games than this. And then I went off and played Gears of War and Ace Combat. Anyway, the second one came out, and the second one was just deemed to be crap. And then they put this third one out, but the third one, they look like they're putting a massive chunk of effort into it, and it does look quite interesting. But as with everything, there's a bit of a twist. So they put it in there. Graphic-wise, it doesn't look at the same level as Infamous Second Son or anything like that. It's quite, I would say graphically it's quite basic, but they have this destructible physics engine for the multiplayer, which looks really good. The problem is that it's just in the multiplayer, which I find very, very odd. So, Nigel, do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah. Basically, the multiplayer version, they're going to have this 100% destructible area, which, if you know anything about multiplayer versus, single player sandbox games, then the multiplayer area is usually much, much, much smaller. So the way they're going to get this destructible thing to work is using the online cloud thing, the Microsoft servers that they've got connected to, but they're not going to let you use that if you're playing single player. I would have said they test your connection to see if your connection can handle the 100% destructible thing in your single player game, and then if it can, fine, do it. But they're not doing that at all. It's not destructible in the slightest in single player mode.
That kind of sucks, but saying that, even in multiplayer mode, you can have problems. Just before we started this out, we had problems with the fucking internet.
Yes.
So just having general problems, because the internet connections aren't kind of standardised by tiers and quality and this, that and the other. And because of that, this is going to be, the cloud thing was always going to be difficult. The other thing too is they're trying to make out the cloud's being really powerful with all the processing and stuff. But it's not, how can I put it, it's hosting the game. That's all it's doing. There's a server that hosts the game and everything happens on the server, like games used to. Remember those days when you used to connect to a decent server and play a game? But this time they've just whacked a bit of destructible physics in there too, so it's great. It's going to be mad when you sit there and you get into a fight with someone and they decide to drop a building on you. But the downside is you probably won't get shot as you're trying to take the building out. So there's only going to be a few people who manage to do those kind of mad building stunts. I know, like, a really good example is on Battlefield, I think it's Battlefield 3 or 4, where they got a shit ton of mines and they set them off to do like mad things. Like they set it off down a runway to spell a word out, and at the end of it they're going to launch a tank into orbit. Actually, it doesn't matter, because if the game's shit, it's a waste of time. But I think what you're seeing here is an indicator of games now starting to grow out of the kind of fixed pen that they've had for a while, which they've had from the 7th generation.
Thanks so much for watching this video.
If you enjoyed it, hit that like button.
If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button.
And don't forget to comment down below.
Follow us on Twitter.
Add us on Google+.
And like us on Facebook.
And don't forget, we've got a website too.